What up? What up? What up? It's that time again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And as you see, this is your man Jelani JB Bodie, and this is the Wait a Minute Show. Back in the building once again to give you your sports fix. So, a lot as usual that we're going to discuss. I get right to it. NBA, NFL, WNBA, back to the NBA, the draft, and so forth. And then we'll get a little bit, still off the court, but on the court. It'll make all the sense once when we get to it. But TNT, I'll just tell you that. And yeah, you might just see a hot disagreement today. But before that happens, let me introduce man running behind the scenes and running everything. Big Mo is in the building. What up, Mo?
I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of money. I'm hurt.
Uh,
I'm hurt, JB. I'm hurt. I'm gonna live through it, but I'm hurt.
you hurt, but
I'm
I
gonna start a
mean,
GoFundMe.
that's why it's called a gamble, right? It's a gamble.
Call it what you want to call it. I'm still hurt.
Okay. I'm not helping, right? I'm not
Nah,
helping the
you really not.
situation, right?
You
Right,
really
right.
not. You really not.
Yeah,
I'm trying to smile to keep from crying on your show. Fans don't want to see that.
I would be hurt. I would be hurt too. And we'll get into that more. But before we get into our first topic, make sure you turn on those notifications. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to the show. That's how you get notified anytime something new pop up, which will be each and every week as we do this to give you your sports fix, like I said before. So let's get right into it, man. It's all said and done. We got Eastern Conference. We got the Western Conference. We got a final set up, right? So we have the Indiana Pacers that's going to be taking on the Boston Celtics in the East. And in the West, we will have the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Dallas Mavericks. So we're going to have a new champion this year. Once again, I think this is the sixth year in a row. But before we talk about those matchups really quick, let's talk about how we got to this just recently with the previous semifinals matchups that was going on. So I'll start on the East, right? Let's just start with the East and plain and simple time was running out for the New York Knicks. Time was running out. And you've heard me on here before. I've always said that basketball, especially playoff basketball is so much better when the New York Knicks are involved. So I'm just going to keep this simple and to the point. Is that Indiana Pacers did their job. I mean, you shoot what 71, I think it was 71% from the field in the first half, which I totally thought that was going to drop or decrease and give New York an opportunity to make a run, which they did. They got in, they got within six, but to finish the game shooting 67% for the Knicks, Thibodeau called me. He was like, you know what? I might be able to get you some run in there, Jelani. So they were playing anybody and everybody. And shout out to Alex Burks, who stepped up. I think he had 26 points in that game, but they were just overmatched, right? They were overmatched with not being able to have the rotation, the roster that they would normally, have on there. And Indiana did exactly what they should have done, is that they put it to them. They took advantage of it and used it against them. What I did like what I saw in that game seven was Tyrese Halliburton. I talked about him. Everybody's been talking about him being more aggressive. And this is the aggressiveness that I like because it still allows him to play his game. But you can't just sit back and just say, you know what, we just gonna, sweat Tyrese and force the other guys to, to beat us because Miles Turner, TJ McConnell, Obi Top, everybody, I think Preston, what was it, Preston Smith, if I remember correctly, like everybody, contributed in this matchup. So I'm going to be intrigued when it comes to this Indiana versus Boston matchup, right? I still got Boston because I said Boston was going to make it to the finals. So I'm going to, stick with that. But this is going to be a real interesting matchup because I think we got the top two offensive potent teams, in the NBA. And we've seen once when Tyrese get hot, anything can happen. Miles Turner is a problem from three as well in the paint. He's a defensive presence, in there. How is Boston going to handle without being without Kristaps Porzingis? Right, he's going to probably miss the first two games. I think he's probably only going to play in the finals. I don't think he's going to even play this Eastern Conference, especially now if they, they take care of business. Definitely, they're going to continue to rest Kristaps. But this matchup here is that one for Indiana. They're not going to lose anything, right? Obviously, they want to, win this, and they don't want to lose. But they lose if they lose this final or this conference finals, they still win. They still gain to a certain degree. Boston, this is a win. This is a must win. There is no, hey, we fought hard. This is, we played well. No, you've been on the cusp. You've been there. You've had your struggles. You had your problems. You overcome the stuff that happened at the beginning of the season. With the former coach and all that stuff. So this is it. This is the year. There is no next year. It has to happen this year. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is going to have to be the catalyst, for this team. But it's going to be a very interesting matchup because Indiana has a very deep bench. They got guys that can score double figures coming off of that bench. So to match up with Boston, I'm not disappointed. I think we're in for a treat. Now, also in for a treat we're gonna get is on the west, y'all, and that was the Denver Nuggets. Lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves in a game 7 as well. So the Timberwolves go on to meet up against the Dallas Mavericks in the Western Conference Final. So talking real quick about that game, the tale of two halves, right? Talk about a tale of two halves. Jamal Murray comes out balling. They can't do anything with Jamal Murray. They go up by 20. They go into halftime and something happened. Some light came on or something happened with the Minnesota Timberwolves and they erased a 20-point deficit. And I think they went on like a 28-3 run in the third quarter. And they were clamping down on Jamal Murray. What I did not like, from the Denver Nuggets that I saw, I just think too much two-man ball, right? Now, look, I'm not a professional, but what I'm looking at is that every time they came down, it was either Jamal or it was either, Jokic. And that played, to me, that played right into Minnesota's hand because you're really playing 5-on-2 then at that point. No other guy, really other than maybe Michael Porter Jr., no other guy really, was taking a shot. I think, maybe give it to Aaron Gordon, let him, be a little bit aggressive, taking it to the basket. He had some success earlier in the series, but I didn't like that where they were going with that two-man ball. I think it was just too much. Those are your guys. Those are your catalysts. Those are your 1-2 punch. Don't get me wrong. Yes, you are supposed to utilize that, but I think maybe they used it a little bit too much, and they got into it and they started clamping down. In Minnesota against Dallas, this is going to be an excellent matchup. This is going to be it's already started because Ant-Man has already said he's going to guard Kyrie. So we're going to, keep an eye on that. Luka, look, I don't care what Luka says. Don't listen to Luka Doncic when he's talking about injuries and everything because his ankle will be turned around and facing the other way, but somehow, some way he can still cross over. The man knows how to play with pain. He knows how to get through, injuries and everything. So I don't expect that to be something that's going to be a factor in this series because he's shown before that he can overcome that. So guys that we're finding out about, or that other people have known about but the world don't know about, like PJ Washington, on that team, Lively, hopefully I'm saying his name right. This is a different level. This is a different magnitude. Now Luka is ready for it, Kyrie is ready for it, so you're going to have, and their coach is ready for it, Jason Kidd, because hey, last time I checked, he won a championship as well in Dallas, but he's also been in the finals multiple times himself. So he'll have that team ready. Now with Minnesota, this is so interesting because I talked about how, Anthony Edwards is that alpha. He is that dog. He is that lead guy that Minnesota needs because it takes the pressure off of Karl Anthony Towns to be that. Right? Karl Anthony Towns can go and do what he normally does. He can be the number 2, but he can be an effective number 2. He knows his role. Ant knows his role. And then they can go back and forth, in trading those responsibilities, right? So I think this is really going to be key. You got your superstars, but it's going to be key, I think, with Rudy Gobert and Mike Conley. You're going to have Reed coming off the bench, the reigning 6 man in the NBA. But Gobert, he's defensive player of the year. If he can, and McDaniels, if they can lock down or frustrate either Luka or Kyrie, that's how they can win this series. So I said Dallas was going to beat OKC. Mm, it's tough. It's tough, but I'm going to go with Minnesota on this, and it'd be a Minnesota Boston matchup. I would not be surprised if Dallas won as well. I'll go again and say this is going to be 7 games. This ain't gonna be no 4 game or no gentleman sweep or anything like that. At the earliest, it's done in 6 games. But I think we're gonna go 7 games. We're gonna get another monster playoff appearance or playoff performance by 2 teams. So somebody's gonna be disappointed. And I'm already disappointed because my team's not there. So it is what it is. Mo, I know I'm touching on a touchy subject, but I mean your thoughts are with the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. Your pick, sir.
I feel bad for New York. I feel bad for New York because that's a team that they had a great season, and to be bogged down with the injuries that hit them. I don't know. I feel bad for them, but Indiana made history. They made history from the field, man. I mean, that was ridiculous. You never saw it. I mean, it's the first time it's ever happened in the playoffs. So I mean, that's that's
Right.
that's ridiculous. But I had my money on Denver, and I mean, I think every NBA fan, every NBA analyst picked Denver to win the reigning championship at home, Game 7. I mean, come on, man. I mean, but Anthony Edwards is that he's for real. He for real. That's my favorite player in the NBA right now. So
Yeah. I like Anthony Edwards. In piggyback off what you said, Anthony Edwards, he didn't have the greatest game, and but he still was impactful in that game,
he
and that
impacted the
goes
game.
yeah, that goes beyond, because he even said, hey, I'm not just a scorer. I can do, other things. And then and I'm not saying he's this person because I know he doesn't like to be compared, and I agree with him. Let him be Ant, but
Hmm.
that's that trait that like a Kobe has or Michael Jordan has, is
Right.
that, what, I'm
Right.
having a bad game, but I still can impact this game. How can I impact it?
Yeah.
And then find a way. And that's what Ant does.
Yeah. He played with the passion, man, and he one of them kids that when you watch him play, it's like he never having a bad day. He just he loved what he doing. But give Nas Reed some love, man. I mean, that kid there, that's another one. I mean, it's
Yeah.
great
Timely,
playoffs, man.
timely put back. Yeah, he made some
Hmm.
clutch baskets, and that actually, got a couple defensive stops in there as well. So
Yeah. Yeah, I've been enjoying the playoffs, man. It's
yeah,
and you know me, I'll tell you in a heartbeat. I would rather watch women's basketball than men's, but the NBA playoffs, man, salute. They've been getting it
there
done
it
this
is.
year, man. I'm loving seeing this new changing of the guard that's taking place right now.
Changing
So
of
yeah,
the
it's been
guard.
fun, man. Changing of the
Yeah,
guard, bro.
yeah, and
It's
and
been
check
fun.
out Changing of the Guard on the channel as well. So I'm glad you said that, Mo. We talked about
see
how
how
that
see how
Changing
see
of
how
the
I did
Guard.
that?
I appreciate that. You see how I picked up on
That's
that?
what I
See,
do. That's
teamwork
what I
makes the
do.
dream work. Appreciate it. Let's move on, man, and get into this. What is it? NFL season, right? So the NFL released their schedule. We get a game coming up September 5th. And boy, will we kick off the season pretty big. We'll get a rematch of the AFC Championship game where we will see the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs, taking on Lamar Jackson, the reigning MVP as well, and the Baltimore Ravens. So I like this, kickoff. I like last year's as well. You know why? Because my Lions was playing. But hey, it's somebody else's turn this time. So the Ravens and the Chiefs, are going to be playing. This is going to be another. Uh, it's just a great way to start off the season. So the schedule is out. I got 4 games, starting with this one that really, really, really sticks out. There's a lot of great games, but we can't talk about all of them uh, in this episode. But Kansas City versus Baltimore. They got Derrick Henry. How is that going to look? Who's going to tackle him? Uh, him and Lamar in the backfield together, like that's just scary. You got Zay Flowers with another year under, or maybe wait a minute, is Zay Flowers or Jordan Addison? Who am I thinking about? I think I'm thinking no, Flowers. Yeah, I'm tripping. So Jordan Addison is in Minnesota, but Flowers another year under his belt. Lamar is down to 205, so I guess this is supposed to help out with the season, but. Can the Kansas City Chiefs do it once again? And as we saw, they could lose the first game and still win it all, at the end. But they got some stuff that they got to, deal with, on their side. It's not going to be just that easy. But Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, that's a great way to start off the season. What else we got? Week 2. Let's jump to week 2. Chicago versus Houston, right? CJ Stroud versus the new blood, right? And CJ Stroud is new blood as well, but versus the new blood and Caleb Williams. So that's going to be an interesting matchup with Chicago making all these moves that they made to prime or have a prime roster ready, for Caleb Williams. And then we saw what CJ Stroud did last year. We saw what he is. We know he's a baller. We know he's the real deal. So following that up, seeing how this season play out with two young whippersnappers, as what the old folks say, going head to head with this. So everybody should be at full go. Joe Mixon is going to be on that Houston team. You got Stephon Diggs that's going to be on that team. On the other side, you got Keenan Allen, along with DJ Moore. You got DeAndre Swift. Like, there is name after name after name, right? So watch for that matchup. That's going to be a good one. Number 3, woo-wee. Somebody's about to come back into the screen. We get our Super Bowl rematch. Whereas Kansas City again taking on Mo's San Francisco 49ers, right? And so we had a really good, matchup on that. Some stuff that happened. Unfortunately, I think Greenlaw, he's making his way back, which is excellent. I'm glad to hear about that. But this is the matchup rematch. Now, of course, it's not for the Super Bowl and everything, but it's can Kyle Shanahan finally beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Can he do it? Can they figure it out? Can they put it together? Because we know San Fran is real deal. San Fran ain't no joke. San Fran. Well,
I'm
I'll
gonna say
give it
this.
to you.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no, 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 no.
go ahead.
I'm gonna say this. And I'm gonna get your program back. We talked about this in a private message. In a private conversation.
Yeah, you
And
about
I'm
to get
going on
crazy.
your show, and I'm
Yeah.
going on the record, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
say,
I'm writing it down.
all right. I told you I was gonna do this. I told you I was gonna
Yeah.
put it out there, right?
Okay. hmm
The 49ers of San Francisco would not lose a game this upcoming season.
So, America, the world, wherever we're at in this show, whatever mark at the 18-minute mark, whatever, make sure you mark that right there because this brother said they're going undefeated.
They're going
Yeah.
undefeated. They're going
Okay.
undefeated. And that's all I got to say. So that
Okay.
that means that you ain't got to
Mhm.
worry about trying to come up with no weird random prediction for this game. You already
Okay.
know the results.
No weird random prediction. I just think that we're gonna get a good game. All right. And it's what, week 7. So we'll be kind of in the mid part of the season as well. We'll start finding out who's what. Brock Purdy got another year underneath his belt. And obviously this is payday time now for Brock Purdy. Get that man, his money. And yeah, 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 yeah. So you better hope y'all don't lose week 1 because I'm gonna be on you for 17 more weeks.
Brock
All
Purdy
right.
is winning MVP.
Oh my God. You know what? Possible. Possible. Now let me stop. Uh Another debate that's going to bring Mo out here because I think we need some get back and some stuff that needs to be answered. But week 17, we get another rematch. That's the NFC Championship rematch where my Detroit Lions will be traveling back out to San Francisco to try and prove to everybody that look, we were the reason we lost that game. We did not execute, on it. And I will say, the previous matchup, Detroit, and San Francisco. really good game. San Francisco came back. I give them all the credit in the world. They did what they were supposed to do. But obviously, everybody's really going to be looking at this throughout the season. But it's going to be like, how aggressive will Dan Campbell, be? Did he learn this lesson? What will this matchup really mean by week 17? Because that's a lot of football being played before this matchup. But I just do think that's something to check out. Is that can Detroit really go back to San Francisco? And because they got a list, they got a revenge list. Dallas is on there, with some other teams.
Mhm.
Seattle is on there, but I do think this is probably their number one, where they want to prove to everybody, like, what, we're in that, we're in that bucket
Where
when we're
where
talking
is this
about.
game being played?
It's been playing in San Francisco, but it doesn't even matter. It could be being played in the parking lot of the Forum. I mean, you already said that San
Yeah,
Francisco is
absolutely,
going
absolutely,
undefeated.
absolutely. But I will say this: I like your team. I like Detroit. I really do. I like watching Detroit play.
Mm-hmm.
That's this new look Detroit Lions team. I like it. So I'll say 34-21 49ers.
Okay, 34
34
21.
21. Write that down too. Write that down. We at the 21-minute mark. Write that down. You
Yeah,
got a pen?
thirty-four
Okay.
twenty-one.
34
Niners.
21. San Francisco 49ers. Y'all have a good season.
24-17 Lions. But hey, we'll see. We shall see. Why you gotta be breathing like that, man? Why you gotta be breathing like that? God, I can't come with a
I'm
prediction.
trying to be reasonable, and you coming with a bogus prediction.
You just said 34-21. That
I
is
did.
13 points. I said 24-17.
That's exactly. And continue your show, JB.
All right, all right, all right, all right. You better hope none of this comes true. I'm telling you, it's over for you. But also, what's over is talking about the schedule. Look, it's out there. We're gonna all be, watching. There's another great matchups all throughout the season. So we should be having another great season that we'll be talking about. So as that, get here and get closer, we'll be talking about all the stuff that is the NFL. But until then, let's get into the WNBA. Right? Got to do it because the world is doing it, and it is dealing with Caitlin Clark. Right? So obviously the season has started for the WNBA. Caitlin Clark got her first game underneath her belt last week, and there's some controversy, or what I guess you could say that comes with it. I don't think it's any controversy because I'm going to give you my opinion, or how I feel about it. Um, People have talked about how, Clayton Clark, her body language, stuff that she's saying, how, WNBA players is treating her and all this stuff. Look, is Caitlin Clark the future of the WNBA? That's what they have tagged on her. So, yes, she is the future. They are putting, investing stuff and gambling, if you will. Sorry, Mo. But they are, putting a lot, on Caitlin. But here's what I want everybody to understand, because, they also, talk about, hey, her game, isn't quite the same way how it was, when it was at Iowa. I'm sorry, we're 3 games into the season. Mo, can you come back out here? I just want you out here because I just want to ask some questions, but you don't even have to answer it. But do you know who Caitlin Clark has played her first 3 games? She got their fourth game
Played
uh,
the
is coming up,
Connecticut Sun and help me out. Help me out.
and the New York Liberty twice.
Right.
So you played against the runner-up to the WNBA championship that took the Las Vegas to 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
They could have went to 7, uh, and pushed that thing to 7. Then you play against the third best team that finished up in the season, and against a runner-up MVP. So you played against Breanna Stewart, who was the MVP. You played them twice. Sabrina UNESCO. Then you played against Alyssa. Why am I forgetting her last name? Alyssa, for the Kinetic Sun. Forward for the Kinetic Sun. I got it here. Uh, I need to pull it up because I want to give respect where respect is due.
Right.
Uh,
She playing against the best women in basketball in the
yeah,
world, and it's going to take time. It's going to take time.
Alyssa
And
Thomas. That's
Alyssa
what I was
Thomas,
trying
yeah,
to. Yeah,
yeah,
Alyssa Thomas.
it's
So
going to take time.
it's gonna take some time, right?
But it's a target on her
Now
back. I mean, I'm sure she understand that, but she just got to respond to it the right way.
you got to respond, but you got to understand though too. This and here's the thing: I'm not absolving Caitlin, from this as well. The one thing that you got to understand is that you've been dubbed that person,
Hmm.
but you still got to take it, and you still got to
Exactly.
earn it, and you still got to get. They're not the players are, and nor should the players do it. The players should not give anything to you. And
No.
I go
And
to Michael Jordan. When Bird and Magic, they were doing that thing, and Magic, hee ha, hoo ha, ha, doing all that stuff,
hmm
and Bird pulling up, Jordan showed up and infamously and famously in the last, I think it was the last thing, or about the Dream Team, he showed up and told them, I run the league now.
yep.
He
And
went and took it from him. And that's what Caitlin is going to have to do. The same thing when LeBron was coming. He was the guy that they was dubbed, King James and all this stuff, but he still had to go out there and he still had to do it, regardless of how people feel, about LeBron James, one side or the other. He still had to go out there. Nobody just gave it to him, and players was like, "We're going to challenge him," and that's the same thing with Caitlin. So with this, that's on her back, it's going to be heavy. Yeah, it's going to be heavy, but people believe that she can get through it. So I just tell everybody, let's just relax. Let's just enjoy it. There are some, people talked about race and everything. Look, that's gonna play a part, right? Is it
yeah,
the main thing? I don't know. I can't say, you know, uh definitively, on that. But is there some substance there? Yes, a lot of stuff that's there. We talked
yeah,
about how people were talking about how, oh, all the old heads are just mad because they not getting the shine and everything. We talked about it across the board. But at the end of the day, what's gonna have to happen is that Caitlin's gonna have to come out. She's gonna have to back up everything that people have basically said for her,
hmm
because she had to come out there and just say, I run the league. But she's gonna have to go out there and back it up. It's gonna take some time. And we'll see if she can do it. Right.
and
But in the
word,
meantime, there's still opportunity for a lot of women in the league, to get some shine. So
and it's going to
and
take some time
Juju's
because
coming.
Ju- you took words out my mouth. You took the words out my mouth. Juju coming. But
Yeah.
remember also, I mean, Indiana was not a great team before Caitlin Clark got there.
They
So
won
it's
13
gonna
games.
it's gonna take
They,
some time for her to, they just gotta figure it out. They gotta figure it out. It's not gonna be easy. We're gonna see what she made of. Because you got to be built for this. I mean, this
and,
still the big leagues. This is professional basketball.
and it's
You
funny you said
dominated college. Go ahead.
13 games. Yeah, it had the second worst record. The
Mm-hmm.
Mercury had 9 wins. So they
Yeah.
won 13. Mercury won 9. But you need this. Because it wouldn't it would not I don't think it would have did Kaylin any justice if she just came out and they're 3-0 and she
Mm-hmm.
dropped in 30, like she's doing what she was doing, at Iowa. I don't think that's a good
Right.
look for her. I think it's happening the way it needs to happen, on it. And yeah, when you get out there, yeah, getting them nasty picks and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Because you got to earn it, because everybody else that has come into this league, nobody has given them anything. So you got to go and take it, and you got to earn it. So, and
Yeah.
I think she will.
It's gonna take time, and she's gonna have to change her game up a little bit because right now, just watching her play, it looked like she's still playing the way she played in college, and
Yeah,
she just got out of college, so it's gonna take time. She'll adjust.
yeah.
She'll get it. And we'll see what happens because Juju coming.
Juju is coming, and I thought about this, and it's so, and I'm great. I'm glad you said this, Mo. I think WNBA players, especially coming from college to the WNBA, I think they have the most unfair thing that they have to deal with when they're coming from college. If you played in March, you finish up in March, you get drafted in April, and then the season start
Mhm.
right at the end of April, May. Like
Right.
the fellas, they finish up in March. The draft ain't until June, and then they don't
Yep.
play ball until like October.
October. Yeah.
So yeah, so you get at least 5 months in there
Mm-hmm.
to go up against some NBA competition to get you, start getting your
It's a
bearings
lot.
about you and everything. There's a short timeline for the ladies. So yeah, it's gonna take
Yeah,
some
they got
time.
about 2 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and they suiting
And
up.
I think they get two preseason games.
Right.
So yeah, but she's coming to Atlanta. It's crazy. They already moved from where the Dream normally play. They're gonna play where the Hawks play to
Okay.
fit in the capacity for
Yeah, because
Caitlin
they're gonna
Clark.
fill it up. They
Yeah,
definitely gonna fill it up, man.
it'll be crazy.
Good luck.
Good luck. Chill. All right, what we got next? Show it on the screen, Mo. Bronny, yeah, Bronny James, right? So, the question is, this is what I this is what frustrates me, when it comes to um news that comes out, because it's like everybody can just put whatever it is they want out there without any consequences or repercussions. All they have to say is sources are saying, or unknown exec is saying, or GM, whatever. Look, man, Bronny is gonna get drafted. Let's leave it there. But where will he go? Will he play with his father? Now I'm gonna say this. And Mo, we had this discussion off air, and I'm going to say it here. No, I'm not saying that whoever gets Bronny, they're going undefeated, and Bronny will be MVP. No, I'm not saying anything like that. That's something Mo would say. Sorry. But I am saying you better be careful in what you're doing if you're an NBA franchise, because just because Bronny is on your team doesn't mean LeBron is coming to your team. There is a select few teams that I think that LeBron would say, you know what, I would leave LA to go play with my son. So Detroit, don't draft him. Atlanta, don't draft him. You know, I'm just saying there's some teams. Charlotte, don't draft him. He's not coming, to those teams. But now, if he did go to a team that LeBron would play for, is it a good idea that Bronny is on this team with his father? Me myself, this is just my personal opinion. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it's in the. I understand why, and I applaud that. There's something to be said, to for somebody you love, hey, somebody that you produced and you put in this world, and you're able to hang around long enough to share in an experience that I don't think anyone has. I think Ken Griffey and his father did, in baseball, but I don't think anyone has in basketball up to this juncture. So I totally get that part, and I applaud that for wanting to do that. But I just don't think it's a good idea uh, for a lot of reasons. Because we just talked about Caitlin Clark and the pressure that they're gonna be putting on her, or that they are putting on her. And if Bronny goes in the second round, there's going to be first round pressure. The media is going to be there. They're always going to be asking something. They're always going to be looking, for something that with this combination. And we know, Mo, you know this. NBA players, there's some divas in there, and people get jealous. There's politics that is played, in the NBA as well, in sports in general, but in the NBA, that's I just think that's too much for the kid trying to make his own name, trying to make his own lane. This ain't, and it's no disrespect, this is not him coming into the league playing with his father that comes off the bench and maybe is the seventh or eighth guy in the rotation or something like that, because those expectations and everything that's going to be shined on him is going to be different. You're talking about arguably the dude that they're comparing to Michael Jordan as the best NBA player ever, the best basketball player ever. That's a lot of pressure, to do unneeded pressure, I should say. He doesn't need that. Let him create his own lane, let him do his own thing, because it's already hard enough for NBA kids to come into the league just on their own and create their own lane, let alone being right there. And then here's the other thing now, because I wasn't just going to let it go without saying this, Mo, is that, look, again, this is just my personal opinion. But if my father was the greatest basketball player or one of the greatest basketball players, and I was coming into the league, ain't no way I want to play with my daddy. Because look, I see you all the time at home. I see you all the time. Now I see you at work. Then we going out. Then we gonna go to the house. We get into it. Then I'm gonna tell mama. Or you gonna be like, wait until I tell your mama or something. No, no, no. But maybe that's just me and how me and my daddy would be. But I'm just saying, like, look, man, I just think that's too much, man. I just think it. My personal opinion. If they do it and it works, I hope it does. But I think the best thing for Bronny, man, is that he go to a team and the team really wants him. They don't want him because they're trying to lure LeBron. I think that does no service, to Bronny at all, because he's got a lot of stuff that he's going to have to deal with once when the season starts. Because just like Caitlin Clark, there's going to be guys that's going to be targeting him, trying to prove a point, trying to make a point, trying to set an example, or trying to do something just because of who he is. So, I just hope he get in the league. He can do his thing, whatever that may be. I'm not saying, any high expectations and all that stuff. Just that the guy can go play ball and enjoy playing ball. That's the biggest thing. Let's finish this thing up, man. And you know how they say, do you want to see a dead body? Do you want to see an argument? You may get an argument in here. So come on in here, Mo, because I want to see your face when I'm saying this, right? I don't like the way you're putting your hands together because it looked like you're about to be confrontational, but that's okay. That's okay. I want the smoke on this one. So
Yeah, we're gonna
inside
get
the
it.
NBA, inside the NBA. So there's this talk. I don't know if it's finalized or anything like that, but the talk is that with these NBA, rights and all these people buying their NBA rights, and TNT was in a battle with some other companies, for the basketball rights. And then if by chance that TNT doesn't, because I may be behind, but the main thing is that if they don't renew the basketball rights, then the basketball license or contract, this is probably over for inside the NBA, which is Ernie, Shaq, Kenny, and Charles. We won't see that anymore. Now, before I have a mental conniption, I will let you go first, sir, because I'm appalled that we're even having this discussion of a possibility. But you, Mr. Mo, have a different opinion of it.
All right, let me bring it down a little bit. Bring it
Be
down.
careful.
First of all, I think it's funny that this is going on right before Bronny James is about to come into the league. But that's a whole nother conversation. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
we just talked about the changing of the guard, right? We just talked about
Mm-mm.
that. We just
Mm-mm.
talked about that, right?
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
you're not attracting any fans, any younger fans with this, the setup that you got now. Kenny Charles, come on, these old cats, man, they've been around forever. It's time to switch it up. I mean, it's time to do something to attract. My son watched basketball, right? Me and him done watch just about every game of the playoffs that we can catch, right? And he not sticking around for none of these halftime or post game shows with Charles, and I mean he know who they are, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, bring some new blood in. You got a lot of legends that played the game. I'm not saying that all of them are built for TV, but an Allen Iverson caliber player, former player, I like Vince Carter, but just bring somebody else in, man. Bring somebody else in. Let's try to attract some of these younger fans, man, because that's what they see and play the game right now. Anthony Edwards is right now making a case to be the best player in the league at 22 years old. How old is Kenny and Charles? I mean, come on, man. Come on. Shaq came in the league at what, 92? I was still in high school. I got kids watching this game right now. So come on, man. Let's switch it up. Let's switch it up. I know you love them. I know they've been funny. They've been fun to watch. They've been doing it so long to where they develop a chemistry that resonate good on TV. But let's switch it up. Let's switch it up. I want to see somebody else. Go ahead.
Okay.
Say something crazy.
Something crazy. So
And I don't want to hear
here's
nothing
why
about numbers either.
here's why I disagree with you.
Okay.
Because you brought up changing of the guard. There is no young bloods or new bloods that's on the cusp. We don't have anybody like that right now. Now, if you're telling me, and I'm just using it as an example. I'm just using it as an example, right? If you're telling me, you know what, um, let's just say no, because they're older. let's just say young bloods, right? If there was a show or if there was some type of even maybe a podcast or something that was out there of some young bloods and they're like, we're next, we're coming, I might be like, okay, I see your point. But I don't see your point because there is nobody like that. What you're saying
It's
is that
nobody that
we
you like.
we no, we have some people that we like. We have some people that we do believe, can do this job and do it excellent. And I do believe there's people out there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. But the bar has been set and there is nobody that is in line to take over that mantle and keep it at that bar.
You
You
wrong.
look at the inside the NBA and all the guests that they get, they don't just get old people and all this stuff. They get guests that all the young folks, know. They make reference to all the stuff that we talk about now. Yes, they're funny, the chemistry. I'm just saying, look, they've tried to do things over before with shows that didn't need to be done, right? And I just feel I feel without getting upset is that it's not going to be the same because Charles got, I think he got a deal,
It's not supposed to be the same.
but this is a staple in the NBA. This is a
Johnny Carson was a
staple in
staple
this
too.
game, huh?
Johnny Carson was a staple too. And then David Letterman had to come and make his legacy. And then Jimmy Kimmel and these guys. Listen, it's not going to look the way you want it to look. It's just not. Because, see, right now, we the old heads. We the old heads. And we listening to Shaq disrespect just about every big man in the league for the past 10 years, right? He
It's
come in, he
been,
sound like a hater every week. Him and
yeah,
Charles. And I'm like,
that's
come
the
on,
thing.
man. At some point, you got to move on. You got to move on. And the younger crowd, they not watching this. The older cats, we love it. But it's not going to be there forever, right? So maybe it's time, get them something that maybe they're going to enjoy more than we do. And maybe we'll grow the level. Who knows? I mean, you got a lot of podcasts. You got Jeff Teague. He got a funny show. You may not watch it. I don't even really care for Gilbert Arenas because I don't think he's that smart. But, I mean, somebody that can connect to these youngins better than the cats that we seeing now, right? Ernie looked like he about to fall asleep. Kenny can't even get up to his little screen to do the little stat thing that he do with the graphics.
Wow, you just
Charles
really
looked mad every. I mean, Shaq looked mad every episode, and Charles just talking out the side of his neck. Yeah, they know the game. They supposed to know the game. They professional players, former athletes. But let's switch it up. Let's switch it up because the NBA as a whole has been suffering. Thank God for these playoffs this year, right? Because I feel like it kind of sparked a new flame. But hey, man, listen, the NBA been struggling for a long time, right? The NFL is you never top the NFL, but we remember them days where people loved watching the NBA, and now it's dead, man. It's been dying for a long time. Switch it up, bring it back, try something. But it's time for them guys to go ahead and retire. I mean, yeah, they put up good numbers. They entertained us for a long time. Salute to them. Salute to them. We'll never forget them. But hey, it's evolution, man. It's evolution. Go ahead, man.
let the record state Mo hates old people. I'm gonna write that down. Gotcha. Gotcha.
I knew I wasn't gonna be able to win this one. I
Yeah.
knew I wasn't gonna be able to
Hey,
win. I
I
tried.
I I get it.
Young people, you
I,
can't say I didn't ride for you.
I get your point. I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Uh, maybe I am an old fogey, and I just like the way it, you know, like 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 Martin told Kim Fields, on Martin when they were working together. She was like, "How do you want to do this?" And he said, "Like I did it yesterday by my damn self." So yeah,
There it is.
maybe that's that. Maybe
There
that's
it
where I'm at.
is. That's exactly where you are. It's okay,
Hey,
man.
but yeah,
It's all
I'm
right.
hey, and if I ever meet Ernie Johnson, I'm riding for you, Ernie. So I'm telling you, riding for you. Ernie's my guy, man.
Alrighty.
So,
Well, listen, I'll say this and I'm gonna leave it alone, man.
mhm.
Don't let it be Steven Jackson and Gilbert Arenas. I don't want to see them. And I tried. You remember Area 51 with Kevin Garnett and Rasheed Wallace?
Yeah.
Let's stay away from that. Let's stay away
But
from
you
that.
know what? You know what? If it's like I don't know if it will work, but if it's Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, maybe maybe a couple other folks, I would definitely tune in. I would definitely see what's going
Yeah,
on. And anybody that goes, let me just say that it's not like I'm just gonna say, I ain't watching halftime no more and everything. I would tune in, but you know, I guess what I would feel, and this will make sense to you, Mo, maybe not these young folks, is that I'll watch Coming to America too.
hmm
I just won't have any high expectations.
that's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna throw a 4-man team out there for you, and you tell me what you think.
Hmm.
Give me Vince Carter, J.J. Redick, Matt Barnes, Allen Iverson. Give me those four right there. I don't know how it's going to look on TV. I like what Vince Carter does. J.J. Redick is a little controversial. Matt Barnes, he's great at the code switching. He can adapt. Allen Iverson, I'm nervous, but the kids know him, right? Give him something they can halfway identify with,
Mm,
and see what happens. See what happens.
mm.
God rest Kobe. I wish he was here. I think he'd be great for it, but he'd probably have his hands full with women's basketball. But you
Now,
know,
Kobe, remember they tried to get Kobe to do it.
mm-hmm.
And he
Yeah, I
said, "Nah, I
remember.
ain't going on no tour or whatever trying to promote." I ain't doing all that. I ain't doing all that.
Young
But you know
people, I'm
what?
here for you.
You know who I will replace with Allen Iverson? And then not that I'm saying Allen Iverson is a bad idea. I would throw Carmelo in there.
Yeah. He podcasting already. He's
Yeah,
podcasting already, and you play the game, you got to know something. So,
yeah. So,
but yeah,
all right.
we'll
The
see what
debate is
happens.
over. Good debate, sir. Good debate. Good episode. Also, so again, turn on those notifications. Make sure you like and subscribe to the show. We're here every week. Me and Mo, and next week we'll be talking about Mo winning some money. And who knows what else that we'll be talking about. We'll continue to still talk about playoff basketball, anything else. So everybody be good out there. Holler at y'all later. Be good. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.